everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I'm Kirti Sophia Purnachan, and in today's session, we'll be continuing the poem My Papa's Waltz by Theodore Roethke, and this is part 2. In the previous class, we have already learned a brief introduction about the author and the poem, and the first two stanzas were also discussed. Moving on to stanza 3. The hand that held my wrist was battered on one knuckle. At every step you missed, my right ear scraped a buckle. Here we could see the father is grasping the son's wrist. Notice that this is different from the way the father's referred to in the rest of the poem. His hand is referred to as the hand, not your hand, isn't it? The hand is battered, but only on one knuckle. We don't quite know what battered means. It could just be cracked and dry from a long, hard day of work, but then wouldn't every knuckle be battered? Maybe the father whacked it on something, perhaps he punched something, maybe he was carelessly drunk, or maybe he scraped it at work. We actually don't know what happened to his knuckle. We get a little more about how this father son relationship could be a little violent in this stanza. Every time the father misses a step in his waltz, the son's ear scrapes against his belt buckle. The father seems to be gallivanting along, totally unaware that he's scratching his little boy as he goes. A belt buckle also has a violent connotation because in the past it was common for fathers to use their belts to beat their children, and we could see that this actually happens even now also in a few families at least. So we could also see that this boy is very small and it seems like he's only as tall as his father's belt. So that is why he is getting injured as he is dancing with his father. So in this stanza, we could say that the dance is not even as innocent as it appeared up until this very point. There is some sort of violence in the relationship between the father and the son, and the person who's receiving all those violence is the son. Moving on to the last stanza. You beat time on my head with a palm caked hard by dirt, then waltz me off to bed, still clinging to your shirt. In this stanza, we see more about the father's roughness to his son. He beat time, which refers to a musical beat here, but still reminds us of physical assault. We don't know what the speaker's father did for a living, but we know that Roethke's father owned a greenhouse. So it makes sense that the speaker in one of his poems would have a father with very dirty palms. This father that we are dealing over here with battered knuckles and rough palms seems very physical and tough. Yet he is dancing around the kitchen with his son. So the dance is winding down at this moment towards the end of the stanza. The boy is being waltzed off to bed, which makes us think that this whole dance may have just been a trick to get the boy into bed. The boy doesn't seem to want to go to bed because he's still clinging to his father's shirt. Now, this image seems sweet, but then we think back to the first stanza where the speaker said he hung on like death. So at the end of the poem, both the boy and death is still clinging to the father. Also, if this dance wasn't so easy and got the boy a little scraped up. The boy must really love his father to want to keep clinging to him. So we come to the end of the poem. Throughout this poem, Radke explores theme of father-son relationships and violence. The dance that we see in this poem represents the complex nature of their relationship, the arguments and physical fights, differences in belief, life goals, and day-to-day life. So that's all for today. I hope today's session was fruitful for you all. If you liked this video, do give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. See you again in the next session. Bye bye.